So, you ever do something really stupid? I totally did a dumb. So, I was perusing down the Facebooks the other day and everything. And as we all know, I like to highlight the doctrine of bodily autonomy because I believe that's important. And one of my friends, he happened to give a very heartfelt explanation about his current vaccination status. I totally respect that. That's how you win hearts and minds. So, spending far too much time on Twitter, I pop in and I'm like, your body, your choice, with my little, like, slightly hyperbolic eyes there and everything. It's like, all right, why? I want to highlight a basic equivalence. Now, paying attention to what's going on in the world can be useful. It adds additional context. I was aware of a pending Supreme Court case as well as this and that. And I'm like, I didn't really pay much attention to it. It's like, well, they might kind of do this. And it's like, oh, somebody pops in and highlights. It's like, well, it's not equivalent for these reasons. So rather than trying to build a bridge, I went to the worst possible place I could and basically asked, oh, a philosophical question about this particular thing. Is it biological? Perhaps it is. I'm not God. I don't have these answers. But I chose to go to a particular place. Why? I spent a lot of time arguing on the internet, and these are with folks that I've known for a while, that I call friends. And I continued on with the conversation for several days, and it kind of went on and went on. And it's like I could go to some place, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then at that point, I used the powers I acquired from the Dragon Tier in Breath of Fire 2, and actually tried to understand what was going on. And I'm like, I've actually discussed politics a decent bit with this person. I actually really enjoyed the conversation. All I know is it's like, oh, we're actually able to explain things and not have to worry about hating each other and everything. And it's like, okay, that's very cool. And we have a lot of stereotypes for different people. We try to fit people into boxes. If they believe X, they're obviously Y and Z as well. That is not always the case. Human beings are very complex creatures. And suddenly I'm like, I know this person can actually do better. And I sensed the person that was in pain. Why? This person. She recently lost some of her civil liberties. Whether or not I happen to agree with whatever that may be, this actually doesn't matter. Why? It's the doctrine of bodily autonomy. And I actually played out. I'm like, because one of the things that negated this is I hang around with a lot of conservatives. And one of my conservative friends at one point is like, well, he's like, Roe v. Wade, oh, it doesn't even, oh, no, it doesn't make this illegal and everything. And I'm like, okay. And then I tried putting myself actually, rather than just hypothetically, I'm like, all right, what if I was in this person's position? What happens, let's say, if I happen to be a young woman? And maybe I was going away to college. Maybe I met a very cute boy. He seemed like a Prince Charming, and we're kind of doing this, and I wake up and there's nobody there. It's like, hmm. And again, I'm like, all right, based upon the information that I know, and again, I am not a doctor, I'm not a virologist, I am not a psychologist, I am a dude on the internet. But all I remember is, well, when might one find out if something was going on? Well, that would basically involve testing every month. And then all this little ding-a-ling went off. I'm like, wait, aren't people arguing about bodily autonomy and frequent testing about things? And then I sit back and I'm like, what if I actually took my own advice? What if I actually tried to, I don't know, hold to a principle, attempt to do something useful, and actually apply that if most folks are good people can work these things out. Rather than arguing and basically trying to dehumanize another person, like, oh, this is very interesting. I'm like, does this just happen because we spend time just yelling at each other on social media? Because, like, we do actually have elected representatives. I still have yet to even write an email to Senator Warren. This is something I should do. I'm just curious, like, what happens if we actually use the system the way it was meant? I mean, you're not necessarily going to get all the notoriety and all the clicks and the retweets and all those dopamine hits, but what if we actually did make a difference? What if we actually let our elected officials know that it's our bodies, it's our choices. That's why it's a principle and not a talking point. Because I went around and said this, and I basically just got to use it as a talking point. I'm like, wow, maybe we should get kind of figure it out. It's all right, all right. I can see you, Monterey. No, no, I actually got to run after this. So thank you for coming. But all I'm saying is, I took a look. I actually typed things into Google's. That's very interesting. This is from the United Nations Population Fund. Bodily autonomy, busting 7 myths that undermine individual rights and freedoms. And it goes on. Basically, nearly half of women are denied their bodily autonomy, according to data from 57 countries. UNFPA's flagship reports announced today, the 21st, 2021 State of the World Population Report titled My Body is My Own marks the first time a United Nations report focuses on the power and agency of individuals to make choices about their bodies without fear, violence, or coercion. And it goes on, it's primarily about women's reproductive rights. And they go over, it's like, oh, it's a Western concept. No, no. It's about bodily autonomy is about the right to make decisions over one's life and future. It's about being empowered to make informed choices. These are universal values. Not only is bodily autonomy a human right, it is the foundation upon which other human rights are built. It is included implicitly or explicitly in many international rights agreements, such as the Program of Action of International Conference on Population and Development and the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Well, I mean, it's not like certain groups within society have historically been, I don't know, viewed as lesser. At times, maybe chattel. I'm just saying. Bodily autonomy represents radical individualism. It undermines group decision making. Four, one person's bodily autonomy could end up undermining the autonomy of others. Having bodily autonomy does not mean any person gets to undermine health, rights, or autonomy of others. Individuals have the right to choose whether to have sex or get pregnant, for example, but they are not entitled to impose those choices on others. No one has the right to violate the rights, autonomy, or bodily integrity of anyone else. And they go on. Some groups of people are not entitled to bodily autonomy. I love this part. Rights are for everyone, full stop. That includes bodily autonomy. Now, no. Hey, again, this is not an in-depth analysis, Sharati. I see you there, Parrot. Welcome, Joe. Shout out to my patrons, Joe, Franco, and Dave M. This broadcast is helped made possible by viewers like you. But I'm just looking at this and I'm like, I don't know about you all, but things seem to kind of suck right now. Again, a lot of first world problems, but I'm like, are we really coming to the point where people just want to engage in violence rather than solving these things? Why? Because we can't give the other side a win, because that would make us cucks. I don't know. Hey, to each their own. Or it's the gentleman's fetish, according to some blather on CNN or whatever. I don't know. I did like the thing on the president's dog, and the ice cream was kind of funny too. But I see you there, Tim. Well, welcome there, Tim, as well as Kotov. This is an interesting universe we live in, but we're just going to pop in over here real quick. This is on an archive, too, archive.crin.org. The Children's Rights International Network. The principle of bodily integrity sums up the right of each human being, including children, to autonomy and self-determination over their own body. It considers an unconsented physical intrusion as a human rights violation. There's a lot more stuff in there, but I just found that very interesting. I hear about different places where people are in camps. No camps. Uh-uh. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just this, especially a Hebrew American. Something about papers, please, and camps. It just rubs me the wrong way. So, I don't know. Are international crimes being committed? I hear they get committed. When was the last time someone was held accountable? I'm a complete sinner. I gotta try to atone for the things that I've done and the things that I will do. But we all do our little part. I think we can make the world a better place. As a dude, you also probably shouldn't argue about abortion with a woman on the internet. I'm just saying that's probably a really bad idea. It- I say we should take care of different things privately. It's like, oh, wait, don't we have this thing called the telephone rather than making a public spectacle out of it after there's a freaking particular ruling that I didn't even pay attention to? Yeah, paying attention, actually knowing what's going on. Thank you, Jay. But I see you there, LDG. Oh, welcome. I see you there, Sherry. But that's all I got for now. Be said, everybody. Be safe and take care of yourselves. Because remember, it's your body, it's your choice. You got to stand up for when it's convenient for you. You got to stand up for others. Or we could always legalize dueling. I'm just saying,